Alright, so we're going to review this Mr. Heater Big Buddy. The model number is MH18B as in Bravo. And I just picked this up. It was on sale for $99, which I thought was a pretty good price. There's a smaller Mr. Buddy heater that was $70, but this one I believe has more BTUs, so that's why I went with it. I didn't know what I would need, and from what I can tell you, this thing puts out a lot of heat on high. So starting on the side here, we got a couple of settings. The pilot is going to be how you ignite the LP, and then you have a low, medium, and high setting for your heat. The low setting, according to the owner's manual, is 4,000 BTUs. The medium is going to bump it up to 9,000 BTUs, and on high is 18,000 BTUs. Right below that, it has some information about using it indoors. So if you were to use it in a bathroom indoors, it shows the settings there, and a bedroom. I don't use it in the house. We use it for ice fishing in an ice fishing shack, and I can tell you this thing is just amazing. Absolutely great for that. I wasn't sure if these things were kind of a gimmick, but it keeps us warm, that's for sure. So this Mr. Buddy heater uses two 1-pound propane cylinders. So you have one that goes in on each side. And when you operate the heater, you can operate it on just one cylinder, but if you want to run it on high, you need to have two cylinders in there, and that's based on the owner's manual. You can also operate it on a 20-pound, like a gas grill cylinder, or two 20-pound cylinders. So based on that information out of the book, a single 1-pound cylinder like we have in here, if running that, you should get 1.5 to 6 hours worth of burn time. If you have the two cylinders in here, like I have, you should get somewhere between 3 to 12 hours. Now it depends on if you're running it, I suppose, on the low or the high settings. A 20-pound cylinder with the correct hose and filter. If you don't have that, there are some issues. You need to have a filter in there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it says in the owner's manual you got to have a filter in the hose in order to use a gas grill cylinder. The runtime on that is going to be somewhere between 24 and 108 hours. And if you have two 20-pound cylinders put together, it's 48 to 216 hours. Alright, so on the back side of the heater here, there's some operation instructions, a lot of warnings. The owner's manual is full of warnings about running the heater in a confined space, low oxygen, carbon monoxide. So you definitely want to be careful with this. Some more information down here about the BTUs and then what the water column manifold pressure is. So if you do lose the owner's manual, you can go off of this list on how to ignite it. And you'll also notice in the back here they have some key slots, so it looks like you can hang this on a wall if you really wanted to. So that's a nice a built-in feature there. Okay, so this model is equipped with a tip-over switch. So if for some reason this gets knocked over, it will shut the heater off. I couldn't find anything about a low oxygen, which I believe some of them have, but like I said, this model is the MH18B as in Bravo. And I went through the owner's manual cover to cover, and I could not find anything about a low oxygen sensor. So maybe that's a different model. For the price though, I think this is a really great unit. For ice fishing, it is extremely hot. So the first time out, we had a little Eskimo pop-up. We set it up on the ice, and I wasn't sure, so I just cranked the thing up, set it on high, and within, I'd say, less than 5 minutes, the kids were complaining it's too hot, and it was. Like, this thing puts out a lot of heat. The rest of the day we ran it usually at medium. Sometimes we'd still have to turn it down to low just because it puts out a lot of heat. For ice fishing in a little shack, definitely does a nice job. Alright, so to light this, you're going to look down here, and that's going to be where the igniter is, and that's where your pilot light's going to be. And it should be a nice blue flame. So there's not much to it. You're going to push the valve down and turn it until it clicks, and when you click it, it should ignite. Okay, so there you go. You see that there's a blue flame down there. And the owner's manual says you should leave this depressed for 30 seconds, but I just pop it up because it seems to work right away. Maybe if you're at a different elevation, you might need to hold that longer, or if it was colder. So you can see it's a nice blue flame. And then we're going to go to the next selection here, which is going to be low. You kind of push and turn, and you'll kind of see like a little gas come around this white catalyst part of the heater here. And you can, well, you can't, but I can. You can feel the heat coming out already. And you're just going to kind of wait for this to get kind of orange. You're not supposed to crank it all the way up on high. You're supposed to let one side get warm, which this side here is kind of your low and your medium setting, and high is going to be like this whole thing just fuming orange. Alright, so this has been on for about 2 minutes here. This is on low. You can see now how this whole panel here is orange. So we'll crank it up to medium. And there is like detent, so when you turn it, it'll kind of like fall into a detent for medium, so you're not running it in between a setting. And you'll see here the medium is going to get very bright. And again, it's only this panel, so your low and your medium run on this panel. This panel here is going to be high, and it'll operate at the same brightness level. So now we'll crank it up to high here. You can kind of see that gas again ignite. And I'm going to let this on a little bit, and we'll come back and check it. Alright, so this is on high. This thing is just cranking out heat right now. The amount of heat that's coming off of this thing is just amazing. So for an ice fishing shack, this thing is awesome. It's probably even a little too big. If you're dressed for being outside, you're probably not going to need quite a big heater. You definitely won't need to run it on high. I'm kind of hoping for some really cold weather here to really test this thing out, just to see if it keeps up with some sub-zero temperatures, but we just haven't gotten there yet this year. Alright, so let's shut it down here. So flame goes out instantly. Still going to be a lot of heat there, so you're going to want to wait before you pack it up. But if you're outside, it doesn't take long. Give it a few minutes and it'll be cooled off. I definitely recommend this thing. At first I really thought these were a joke, but the one time we went out with it, this is impressive. I am really impressed with the amount of heat it puts out. And I would say if you can get this thing for $99, it is a good investment. It's a great little portable heater to have. It's not too heavy. Like I said, it's got that wall mounting option on the back, and it uses those convenient 1-pound cylinders. And if you really want to crank it up, you can buy some accessories to get it to work with a 20-pound propane cylinder. So, alright, that's going to be it for now. Again, that's going to be the Mr. Heater Big Buddy.